No man wins an argument with a woman. Even if you're right, even if the facts are on your side, even if logic backs you at every turn, you still lose something. Because when you argue with a woman, you're not fighting over information. You're fighting through emotion. And emotion doesn't respond to logic. It responds to presence. This lesson isn't about backing down. It's about leveling up. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to prove himself, because he already knows himself. Let's talk about what to do instead. 1. Understand her storm. Don't try to stop it. Most men panic when a woman gets emotional. She's crying, yelling, shutting down, and your instincts kick in. Calm her down. Fix it. Solve the problem. But here's the truth. She doesn't want you to fix her storm. She wants you to stand in it. She wants to feel that you're strong enough to handle her, not just when she's soft, but when she's spinning. Most men do the opposite. They get defensive. They get loud. They try to control the chaos instead of holding space for it. And here's where you lose her, not because you didn't argue well, but because you made her feel like her emotions were too much for you. There's a story I heard once. A woman said this about her ex. Every time I cried, he made me feel crazy. But the new guy, he just held me, said nothing, just stayed. That's when I knew he was different. You want to know what real masculinity is? It's not overpowering her energy. It's anchoring it. Being the steady tree when her winds are blowing. Not to correct her, not to quiet her, but to be there. 2. Choose presence over power. When you argue to win, you're playing a boy's game, because boys care about control. Men care about connection. If a woman says something unfair or emotional, your ego will tell you to bite back. I never said that. You're overreacting. You're being emotional. And maybe she is. Maybe she's emotional because something inside her doesn't feel safe or seen. But if you start weaponizing logic against her emotion, you'll only deepen the divide. There's a powerful practice in relationships called mirroring. It means, instead of arguing with her perspective, you first repeat it back to her. Not sarcastically, not coldly, but like this. So you feel like I've been distant, and it makes you feel pushed aside. Is that right? That single sentence builds more connection than 20 minutes of arguing ever will, because it makes her feel like you're not trying to win the point. You're trying to understand her heart. And sometimes, that's all she wants. 3. Master the art of the silent stand. You don't always need the last word. In fact, the most powerful man in the room isn't the one who's loud. It's the one who doesn't flinch. There are moments when arguing becomes a trap. You're pulled into her emotional tornado, and suddenly, you're both saying things you regret. That's when you need to disengage to protect the relationship. This doesn't mean walking away mid-conversation. It means calmly saying something like, I want to talk about this when we're both calm. I'm not going anywhere, but I won't yell with you. That's leadership. It shows strength, it shows discipline, and it shows her that you don't need chaos to feel power. Psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson talks about voluntary confrontation, approaching hard moments with calm strength, not emotional chaos. The silent stand isn't about ignoring her. It's about refusing to match her worst energy and inviting her into your best. 4. Redirect to vulnerability, not dominance. Here's the move most men miss. Instead of defending yourself with facts, try revealing your feelings. Sounds backward, right? But it works. Let's say she accuses you of never being there for her. Instead of saying, that's not true, I do this and this and this, you say, it hurts to hear that, because I've been trying. But maybe I haven't shown it the way you needed. Now you're not arguing, you're connecting. You've just shifted the entire tone from me versus you to us versus the problem. She'll soften, not always right away, but deep down, she'll feel it. Because the masculine is most powerful when it's transparent. Not defensive, not cold, but real. 5. Protect the space, not just your ego. A lot of men turn arguments into battles because they think they're defending their pride. But what you should be defending is the relationship. There's a term in psychology called emotional contagion, which means your emotions affect her emotions more than you realize. So if you stay calm, she's more likely to return to calm. If you escalate, you pull her deeper into chaos. Your job as a man is to lead the tone, not mirror it. If she's shouting, lower your voice. If she's spiraling, center your breath. If she's spiraling in fear, bring her into safety. You can set boundaries. You can disagree. But you don't do it to dominate. You do it to protect the space between you. Because once that space becomes a battlefield, you've both already lost. 6. Never fight to be right. Fight to be clear. Sometimes we argue just because we feel misunderstood. So we fight harder, say more, explain again. But the goal of communication isn't to be right. It's to be understood. That means asking, what did you hear me say? How did that make you feel? What would help you feel safe right now? And then, actually listening. This doesn't mean you agree with everything. It means you're invested in clarity, not just being correct. And when a woman feels you're fighting for understanding, not just dominance, she stops seeing you as the enemy and starts remembering why she chose you in the first place. Final thoughts. The strongest men don't argue. They lead. They listen. They redirect the chaos into clarity. You don't need to prove yourself to a woman. You need to be present enough to handle her emotions without losing your own. And if you've ever been in this situation, if you've learned the hard way that arguing never works, type "real men stay grounded" in the comments. Let's find out how many men out there know the difference. And if this message hit something in you, subscribe. Not just for content, but because you're building the kind of man who never argues just to be right. You're learning how to lead with grounded strength. And that, brother, changes everything.